I'm speeding down the highway. Tears are streaming down my face, lost in the swirling thoughts of what I'm about to do. A police siren wailing behind me yanks me into reality. I look at my speedometer, I'm going 80 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. I immediately pulled over, and I don't even realize how I got there. Have you ever done that? You got to your destination, and you don't remember how you got there? That's not being aware, and I wasn't aware. You see, I was heading to town to file a restraining order on my husband, as he was abusive, and I was afraid of getting hurt again. He was like a time bomb waiting to explode, like that fateful night when he threw a beer mug across the room, slashed open my head. I had to go to the emergency room, and that was my moment of truth, because I had to tell the nurse what happened. You see, I'd been lying to myself. I thought I had it all together. We built a beautiful house. I had an amazing job. I was living every woman's dream, except I was miserable inside. Every day commuting, I was consoling a friend of mine whose sister was in an abusive relationship. I was walking in her shoes. I had my blinders on. But one day, I actually heard myself talking. And that was the moment I realized, who am I to be giving that advice? I needed it myself. That was the moment that awareness started just to seep in, and my blinders started to fall off. But you see, my blinders kept my secret safe, but no more. Awareness is the key to change, to live the life that awaits you. In my journey, I incorporated these 3 core disciplines: awareness, acceptance, and action. Awareness is the bedrock of change. It's the cornerstone of your transformation. It invites you to ask these 3 questions. What is it? What has happened? What are the facts? And what's the truth? Awareness is the key that unlocks the door to change. It demands self-reflection, courage, and a willingness to look at your deepest fears. And in its embrace, you rise above the shadows of darkness and you step onto that journey to the life that awaits you. With unwavering honesty, that day in the hospital, I stepped on my journey of self-realization. And I became aware of the sabotaging thoughts that were holding me captive. In the depths of my heart, I truly believe that everything happens for a reason, and the life we are meant to live is waiting for us to show up. In his book, as I reflected on my journey, I realized how I got there. My father was abusive, and my mother swept the secrets under the rug. So I married an abusive man, and I swept those secrets under the rug. In the book, Healing the Shame That Binds You, John Maxwell delivers a powerful message about the toxic nature of shame. And once shame becomes your identity, it's toxic and dehumanizing. Toxic shame is your false self. And to be more of your false self, you're less of your true self. And that toxic shame destroys the function of your authentic self. In the bottom of my toxicity and my shame, a profound question rocked my world. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And for me to answer this question, I had to admit I was in an abusive relationship. I had to admit the shame I brought on myself. Just like the blinders on a horse limits its vision, my blinders limited my vision. It kept me from seeing the potential that exists in my life. It kept me feeling numb. I tolerated the intolerable, and I fell short of the life I deserved. So picture your brain as a maze. We keep getting stuck, and we don't even realize it, how we're stuck into those negative thought patterns. That's your judge. That's your inner critic. That's your judge telling you you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. The thing is this judge has 9 accomplishing saboteurs. You might recognize them because they're an avoider. It's a controller. It's a hyperachiever, a hyper-rational, and hyper-vigilant. It's your pleaser, your stickler, your restless, and victim. To become aware of these saboteurs is when you make a change in your life. So there's 4 saboteurs that reared their ugly heads on my journey. It was a judge telling me I'm not good enough. You're not smart enough. You don't deserve anything better. Just stick it out. The pleaser showed up because I was walking on eggshells to keep the house quiet, perfect. Whatever I could do to not rattle him. And as that just sucked the energy out of me, I fell victim to my circumstances. I just withdrew from life. But as my anger and resentment started to simmer up, my stickler showed up. I became mouthy, defiant, sarcastic with words that would sting him. And with all these 4 saboteurs and probably others, it became a vicious, vicious, vicious cycle. So when has your judge told you you're not good enough? Or maybe when have you found yourself pleasing others over yourself? Or when have you become a victim to your circumstances in life? And this leads me to my next step, which is acceptance in my AAA insurance. So that night in the hospital room, it hit me like a Mack truck. I realized I could stop fixing him, and I could choose me and my happiness. I could choose me. And to step into that true acceptance, I could stop pretending everything was fine. But acceptance doesn't mean that I approve or embrace the situation. Acceptance means that you just courageously recognize and acknowledge where you're at, especially in a situation where you can't change it. It gives you that space of reality. You can be as you are, feel what you feel, and experience what you experience. Acceptance invites compassion and curiosity. It's your wisdom. It's your inner guide that unlocks 5 sage powers. Empathize, explore, innovate, navigate, and activate. As I embarked on my journey, I made a conscious choice to wholeheartedly embrace the love and passion that resides inside of me. I am not the doubts of my inner critic. I am not the overbearing demands of my stickler. Through empathy, I reconnected with the profound love and passion that resides in my heart. Through the power of explore, I rekindled that curiosity of my younger self and ignited the spirit of adventure that is naturally inside of me. And through the power of innovate, I worked towards solutions as opposed to hovering on those problems. And through the power of activate, it was not mere good enough. It was stepping into excellence. And this brings to my 3rd step of my AAA insurance, and that's action. So moving forward wasn't about running away. Moving forward was about shedding those old beliefs, allowing space for new beliefs to enter into my world. My 3 children and I sold almost everything we had to move from Arizona to California, with our spirits high, the adventure of our promise for a new future. The road ahead wasn't straight, and it wasn't smooth because my saboteurs kept trying to whisper in my ear. But through the power of the sage tools of empathize and explore and navigate, I was able to move forward. We settled into a new home, new job, new school, and I was on a fast track to discover my purpose, my passion. I got into self-help books, support groups, meditation groups, spiritual groups, whatever I could do to just traject myself forward. But that profound question kept coming back to me. Who am I? Which opened the door for me to ask myself more questions. What on earth got me into that relationship? What was it about me that I'm picking those kind of guys? And why do I keep pleasing others over myself? But through the power of empathy, me finding my passion and my purpose, I looked deep inside and nurtured the amazing person I am. And to live a life filled with my potential. Through the power of empathy and curiosity, unlocked my potential. And me saying yes to life, the power of navigation, unearthed abilities I didn't even realize I had. So who am I? Who am I? Today I am an ultra-distance cyclist, runner, and swimmer. Last year, I have ridden over 40,000 miles. I have ran over 40 100-mile runs. Last year, I swam 300 miles. In 2 weeks, I'm going to do the World Championship Ironman in Kona. Who would have known? Who would have known? If I had stayed victim to my circumstances and lived a life well below of what I deserved, I would never have realized my potential. Be inspired. Embrace the potential in the life that awaits you. That is why I am a mental fitness coach, because I empower individuals to implement this AAA insurance. Be aware of your saboteurs. Accept your wisdom and your inner guide and embrace those 5 sage powers and take action. Now it's your turn. Now you can live the life that awaits you.